Hello, good morning, and welcome to the October Redcar Cleveland Business Network. I'm a little bit kind of behind with my words this morning because the computer broke this morning. So I've got part of my notes here, and the rest of it I'm going to have to wing. We were joined by a few guests, and some have been unable to attend. Then Andrew got stuck logging in as well this morning, so it's all kind of like happened. We're all organised. Matt's in the background on Facebook monitoring the comments and stuff. Yeah, it's one of those Thursday mornings already. I hope everybody is well, or as well as can be. This is a multi-channel stream, so we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all at the same time. And if you're not already following us on Twitter, then I'm just going to put up our handle here. So please follow us at BizNetworkRC because you'll be able to kind of see all the things that we're pumping out. And if you're on Twitter as a business, just tag us in because we'll retweet that for free, as well as if you are on Facebook anyway, but Twitter's a lot quicker. For those who don't know me, my name is Darren Winter. I'm the company director of Duco Digital. And with Karen King of King Celebrant Services, we co-manage the business network with volunteers. A thank you to Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council, who we work in partnership with, and morning to Lola. Morning, Lola. She's from the business growth team at the council. I know she's logging in. I don't know which channel she's watching on today, but she's there. And also big thanks to our sponsor, Bead Financial, to John and Katie, the team there in Mask, who sponsor the website, redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. So thank you very much for that. On today's agenda, shortly, as we normally do, we're going to invite each of you just to introduce your business, and you can just do that in the comments below on Facebook. I say Matt's monitoring the comments at the moment. Just tell us who you are, what your business is, and just something about your business. It's only about like 10-15 seconds, but I'll just go through and I'll read those out. Please don't share anything that you don't want to be made public, as this is being recorded, and so are the comments. So I know that sounds common sense, but sometimes you just think, oh, I'll just say this or say that. So just be aware of that. Whilst you do that, I'm going to introduce our guest this morning, Andrew Mckelvie from Redcar and Cleveland College, waiting very patiently in the green room. So he's going to talk about business support and upskilling for your business, of what the college is doing at the moment and what they can help you with. So it's going to be a nice, interesting talk to listen to. And there'll be a chance to answer Andrew some questions as well. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask the college or ask Andrew, I don't think he's going to pretend to know everything about the college and he knows every single answer he can give, but he's nodding his head there. If it's kind of related to what he's talking about, then please ask away. And if he doesn't know, I'm sure he'll be able to get the answer for you. So do have a think about those as well. And then just after Andrew, we'll just start to wrap up. We'll be finished no later than 8:30. It might finish a little bit beforehand because I said we plan to have a few more people to come in and talk. But I've got a few things I can talk about shortly just to cover their absence. At the end of the event, we're also going to invite you to mention a special event offer or an announcement in your business as well. So make sure you've got those ready in the comments because we'll read those out. The technology we're using allows us to invite a few different guests, so people can watch most of these channels without having to use additional software. So if you're interested in talking and presenting at a future event, and just get in contact with us, you can just email us, redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork@gmail.com, or you can just message us in the box and we'll just pick those up. It will be next year now at some point, but do let us know. If you've never presented before, it doesn't matter. We kind of like guide you through. It could be a Q&A, you can do like a slideshow presentation, whatever kind of works for you. It's just a good opportunity for you to talk about your business. Just in the absence of Tees Valley Business, I just want to mention a couple of quick things that for some businesses, there is the coronavirus funding scheme. It isn't for all businesses, which I appreciate. But it's 100% funding help towards your business for things like marketing, legal advice, accountancy. There's also been an announcement this week for arts projects funding as well. And there's probably lots of other types of funding. So please go to teesvalleybusiness.com, click on the very large banner in the middle of the website. I had a look at it yesterday. and just register your interest. And if you know somebody who's got a business who may not know about this, please just let them know and share. The team there will tell you if you're eligible or not, or what the criteria is. But if they can't help you with that, usually they know about maybe some other funding pots that might be able to help you. Don't forget also you've got the business growth team at the council as well. And I think I've got this up from last time. If I just take my one down, there we go. So you can email the business growth team at the council, business.growth@redcarcleveland.gov.uk. Just email the team there and they'll be able to come back to you. Just be a little bit patient at the moment because everybody's asking for lots of support at the moment, but they will come back to you and they'll be able to guide you through and have a chat with you about some possibility of what funding may be available to you. Second thing I wanted just to quickly mention is about the Redcar Town deal. Some people might not know, but the town has been, well, it's not completely 100% signed off at the moment, but it is extremely likely we'll be getting £25 million of government money to use in the town for different things to revitalise this area. There's going to be a public consultation coming out, which is imminently within the next week or so, 10 days tops. And there is a website, redcartowndeal.com. So definitely have a look at that. That'll tell you more about what the kind of the ideas are or where the money's coming from. £750,000 of government money is already being given to start making preparations for a development down towards the Majuba Road area. So there'll be a little bit of information about that. But if anybody's got any comments, keep an eye on that website, redcartowndeal.com. As I look out for the public consultation, we'll be asking your views and your ideas. We'll share it to the page. We'll pop it out on the newsletter as well. A couple of other quick things here. E-commerce and card machines. A couple of times we've been asked about kind of like e-commerce, and I just wanted to mention that you might see it on the telly at the moment, but there is these people like SumUp and Square, so you can launch now an e-commerce site quite quickly for little money. And you can also use the card reader as well. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because last month Howard from FSB was talking about kind of all the benefits of sort of being a member, and he mentioned there that a lot of people have these card machines in the shops that were on loan from the bank, and they are quite expensive to loan. They are quite expensive with charges. I know some people can get deals, and that's great if you are. But for those who haven't got those deals, do look at the alternatives out there, like Square, say SumUp, and a few others, which are very low cost to maintain. If you do still want to keep with your card machine, then definitely have a look at FSB. Because the membership there, well, I think you pay about £150 for the year, but they've got an agreement with some of the card machine operators, so therefore you can get like a much better deal on that one. So definitely have a look at that. And the last, so I had another note here about kind of FSB as well. The other benefit was all the HR policies and website privacy policies. We had a couple of questions after last month. I just wanted to bring back up again is that if you've got any questions on the benefits about all these different policies that you can get for free through the FSB, then just drop us a message and we'll put you in touch with Howard, who's a membership advisor, and then he can talk you through all of that. So he'll kind of explain where everything is. There is a lot of different things there on the website. Okay, so I think we're started with introductions, and because I'm on a new computer, unfortunately I haven't got my Facebook page up here, so I should be starting to read comments, and I'm not quite ready, so apologies. And if you just joined us, we've had a few technical issues and that this morning, so I'm just going through maybe some comments here just now. Okay, so have we got some comments, Matt? I'll get
just websites of businesses that join.
Brilliant. Okay, so morning, Carol. You're from the Lighthouse Therapy Centre. Thank you very much for joining us. That's great. You're an alternative and holistic health service. If let us know anything that you'd like to specifically mention. Morning, Nicola from Seabreeze Fish and Chip Shop. Nice early start for you this morning. So again, and for anybody else that's watching, we can see there's quite a few of you there. Sort of watching the feed, and if you joined us a little bit later, just let us know who you are, the business that you're from, and then kind of what offer that you're offering. If you're watching this video after the stream, again, just comment below because we'll pick those up and we'll share those as well. I've done quite a lot of talking already, so I think it's now time to hand over to our guest, Andrew Mckelvie, and he's going to talk to you about some of the business support that's on offer through the college. Morning, Andrew.
Morning, everyone. Hi there. So thanks first of all to Darren and the team for giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. While a lot of what the college does is aimed at preparing 16 to 18-year-olds for work and further education, what I wanted to speak about and to highlight was the commercial arm of what we do and how we help businesses and individuals across the Tees Valley. So if I can share this, Darren. So who are we? The Education Training Collective, which is the group of colleges that Redcar merged with about 18 months ago. It's a multi-sector, multidiscipline training provider with a history of providing industry standard training across the Tees Valley. We have facilities across the region. So we've got Redcar College, we have Stockton Riverside College and NETA training over in Stockton, and we have St Bede's Sixth Form in Billingham. We're committed to being actively involved in the economic, social and cultural development of our communities, and part of what we do is work in partnership with other organisations where specialist training is needed. Who do we work with? We work with a host of industry recognised and accredited qualifications and trade organisation, people like Redcar Council, Chamber of Commerce, ECI, TB, IOSH. These are all organisations that are or have qualifications that are required in industry. Organisations we've helped train, just an example of some of them and some of the quality of the companies that we work with, are people like Huntsman, Altrad, charities such as Maine and the local councils there. So what do we do? Obviously, aside from the 16 to 18-year-old provision, we offer industrial training, and we have just invested heavily into our outside industrial training rig. I'll talk about that a little more in a minute. We are specialist health and safety trainers. We run sector-based work academies for those out of work and for industry in the area. We have fully funded training for employees in the area. We offer apprenticeships, and we also offer online training. So industrial training, as I alluded to, we've invested quite heavily. We now have a confined spaces rig on site. We can do working at height training, obviously the manual handling, CCNSG site safety passport, which is important for a lot of the sites in the area, such as Wilton and the new Teeswork site. And you can see at the bottom there, we do some specialist IRATA rope access training. And again, that is part of the investment we've made in the college to get people in the area ready for the work opportunities that are coming up. And as regards to health and safety, we are accredited providers of NEBOSH, IOSH, first aid and awareness. These are all the sort of the bread and butter things that a lot of companies need to meet their health and safety obligations. Now, the most exciting bit for this for me is that we have a pot of money available to us that allows us to pay for all this training, or a lot of this training, for employees of small and medium-sized businesses in the Tees Valley. So the project is a project called Skill Support for the Workforce. There's over £10 million available, as I said, for small to medium-sized enterprises in the Tees Valley to access this training. And it also provides redundancy support. So for businesses of any size where there are employees at risk of redundancy, or for individuals who have been made redundant within the last 90 days, we can also access this funding. So while I appreciate some of this might not necessarily be relevant to your business, obviously the more people who know about it in the area, the more people we can help. The funding is joint, and it comes from the Education and Skills Funding Agency and the European Social Fund. So that training can be accredited, or we can make something bespoke for your company. For example, we have a digital marketing course that we worked alongside Darren with to create. We have commercial courses, so those NEBOSH and IOSH we can pay for your companies. And we also have people working through their AAT accountancy qualifications. We're doing an access to bookkeeping course next year and the AAT level 2. How does it work? So first of all, we confirm the eligibility of the person or your company. We then complete a training needs analysis with you, and this can span any subject. And while the college can only train so many areas, there is a bigger network of training providers across the region that we can help connect you with if there's training that sits outside what we do. We'll then agree a training plan with you. We sign up your learners and we go through an individual learning plan with them. And then we deliver the training at no cost to the employer or the learner. And on the back of that, we would hope people get into jobs or they are able to do more hours within the work. The idea is to upskill the individual in order to upskill the business and therefore grow the economy. Something that's been very popular for us since we've come back from furlough and the shutdowns are our sector-based work academies. So these are designed to help you recruit a workforce with the right skills to sustain and grow your business. So a sector-based work academy can last up to 6 weeks, and placements have 3 main components. We do pre-employment training. So we'll do the training that's relevant to the needs of your business sector. One recent example of this is where we are giving people their confined spaces, tickets, their CCNC safety passports to get them ready to go on site. We then aim to get them a work experience placement. So if it was your company, we would hope you would give them some work experience, and that gives the benefit of you being able to see each of these people and to get an idea of what they are like in work. And then we finish it with a guaranteed job interview. Some of the examples of the work academies we have run so far, we've got the Routeway to Decommissioning. We have a very popular care academy that runs in Redcar and Stockton. We do medical administration, working in industrial services, and I think you can see the rest there. Finally, no, not finally, but we do also have some Cpd Online Learning. So if any of your employees or yourself are interested in doing some small 4-hour training courses, we have access to an auto-assessed software package, and we can do packages for business. Finally, just let me touch on apprenticeships. So apprenticeships, there's too many to list that we offer, but they span things like engineering, law, sports. Some of our most popular are currently business administration, team leader, and paralegal. As you can see, I have put up there a list of the various grants and incentives available for you should you wish to take on an apprentice. As these are quite detailed, I would just suggest you get in touch if you need any more information on that. So finally, any questions?
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Andrew. There's obviously quite a lot of information there as well for people to take in. In terms of kind of the size of the businesses that can get involved in some of the opportunities there, can it be just like very like micro-sized businesses with just teams of 2 or 3?
Absolutely, yeah. So with regards to the skill support for the workforce, that is for companies that anything from a sole trader or self-employed person up to companies with up to 250 members of staff. The sector-based work academies, again, there is no particular size of business. Anyone can engage in that. We do obviously ask the employer to engage throughout the process with those guys who are people who are going through the training. But no, anybody can get involved.
That's fabulous. And then obviously this is all free training as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Funded.
That's really, really great.
With the end user.
And then how do some of the courses work? Can they do some of this kind of like distance learning from home, or do they have to go into the college at the moment?
Primarily, we are delivering in the classrooms at the moment. Obviously, we have a lot of measures in place one-way systems, cleaning stations, and we're adhering obviously to all the social the social distancing guidelines. We are prepared to go into distance learning, and we have everything set up should we need to, or should we decide to, that we can deliver online through the Teams software.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. I'll just put a call out to everybody. If you've got any questions for Andrew, please just let us know in the comments if you're watching on Facebook. Nicola Atkinson from Seabury said, is there an age requirement?
There isn't, Nicola, no. The only, for the skill support for the workforce, it's 16 plus. For the sector-based work academies, the candidates there are primarily coming through the East Skinning Grove and Grangetown hubs. And they would need to be, I believe it's 18 plus, I can confirm that, and in receipt of benefits. That is for the people coming through to attend those sector-based work academies.
That's brilliant. I've got another question that's come through on YouTube. It's saying, is the CPD online?
Yes, absolutely.
That's fantastic. That's great. Just see if there's anything else that's coming through.
I can see someone's asked Project Escape Live. I've asked Redcar, any businesses based in the Tees Valley, or rather any business that operates in the Tees Valley. So even the registered address doesn't have to be here. As long as there is an operating office within the Tees Valley, we can help the staff working out of that office.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic. Any other questions, anybody? Which is great, isn't this? In real time, we can sort of take questions and that. On funding, is there an upper age limit?
Absolutely not.
So it can be whatever age that you like, Nicola. I know you might be feeling about 50 or 60 this morning. Oh, they're so busy in the moment and cold and windy, and it's like, oh, bless. That's great. Anything else? Anybody else got any other questions? And I'll just check with Matt. Any other questions from your side?
We can just see all 3 people on screen.
That's great. That's fine. That's fabulous. Thank you so much. If there's any other questions come in, we'll bring you back in, Andrew. That's brilliant. Just final CTA, where can people get hold of you?
So did I put my details up? Let me check. I'll try and put my details on the screen.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. This is early for me to be doing technology now. Right, that.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So here's the contact details. If you missed them the first time around, if you just joined us, I'll just spotlight that. So get in touch with Andrew, andrew.mckelvie at the-etc.ac.uk. Telephone number there, 01642 777 217. But I say you can go to the website, or if you missed this or you can't get hold of Andrew, just message us through the Facebook page, or you can tag him in on Twitter, or just let us know and then we'll put you in touch. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Andrew. That's great.
Good time.
And you might have just kind of like spotted that we've had a few IT gremlins this morning. So I'm on a different computer, so I might feel a bit all over the place because nothing's where I planned it all to be last night. And then Kaye has kindly joined us in the background there. She just sneaked in the back door there. Morning, Kaye. Is it all?
Can you hear me, morning?
Can we hear you? Ah, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I hope. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much indeed. So there's a great presentation there from Andrew. And I know I've kind of stolen your thunder a little bit because I talked a little bit about coronavirus funding and some of the art funding and that earlier on at the beginning of the presentation. But for yourself coming through now, do you want to just kind of talk us through kind of the business support and maybe some of the Kickstart scheme, things that are available to businesses?
Yeah, that's great, Darren. I've got a presentation there, so I'll just share my screen if possible.
Great. And if you've got any other questions ready for Kaye from Tees Valley Business, anything to do with apprenticeships, can't promise we'll be able to answer everything, but then do just start putting them in the comments because we'll start fielding them soon.
Can you see my screen, Darren?
No, sorry.
2 seconds. It's not letting me click on the share the screen for some reason. Try that.
There we go. That's perfect. I've got that there now for you.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, we're going to add that up now for you, and I'll spotlight this. Just before you go ahead, Kaye, I just want to mention Lola from the business growth team. She's just put in the comments that they do offer advice and support to people starting their businesses, existing businesses looking to grow. They've got special advice for social enterprises. That's Lola's speciality. So do get in touch with them there. So business@redcar-cleveland.gov.uk. That's fabulous. So back over to you, Kaye.
Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I think you've adjusted it now. So it was going into infinity before, but that looks great.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me along. Much appreciated. So my name's Kaye. I'm the Business Gateway Manager for Tees Valley Business. Just want to talk you through sort of what's happened in the past. So in the past, Tees Valley Combined Authority subcontracted out the information, advice and guidance that the business support team delivered. But really exciting time. We brought it in-house as of the 1st of July this year. So we've pulled together a new team as such. So obviously the aim of the team is to offer a range of support to help businesses to start up, grow and create jobs. And we're looking at providing information, advice and guidance to businesses to help them grow. So we've been really, really fortunate in the team that we've got and that we've brought over. So we've brought over some growth consultants from our partner UMI, some really experienced people. We've also brought the growth service manager, which is Shaq Aysgarth, over. In the team as well, we've got myself, who's the gateway manager, almost like the front door to the growth hub, which is branded Tees Valley. Then within that as well, we've also got a specialist within finance and funding, which is my colleague called James Latcham. So his job is around brokering external funding, potentially grants. His background is in the banking sector. And then within that as well, we've got a gateway coordinator and a gateway support officer. So really exciting, a new team, starting sort of afresh. So I've just put some contact details in there of how you can get in touch with us via our website. We've also got a telephone number and our email address as well. In support of COVID, the Tees Valley Combined Authority implemented the COVID support helpline for businesses with our partner Lemon, which is still running. Obviously, still admits coded as important as ever. So we've got that helpline as well to support businesses. So just sort of moving on to what we've been doing really since sort of June time. Our mayor, Ben, obviously launched the Welcome Back Fund. So the Welcome Back Fund was Tees Valley Combined Authority, and that was grants of up to 500 to 1,500 for businesses. And that was all around the reopening of businesses on the 4th of July, specifically in the hospitality and tourism sector. And it was supported by Visit Britain and We're Good to Go. So in relation to the Redcar area, just looking at the figures, obviously this is close to new applications now, unfortunately, but it was around 100k worth of funding that was given out to businesses within the Redcar area for that specific fund. Then we led on to our Back to Business funds, which was ERDF focused. And there was two elements to this fund. There was a visitor economy element, and then there was the wider economy. And basically that fund was a grant between £1,000 to £5,000 to look at businesses accessing professional support or purchasing minor technological equipment to support with a COVID recovery and their growth. So those funds are closed at the moment. You know, as you can imagine, they were pretty fast sort of getting them out the door. But in relation to the visitor economy for the Redcar area, we looked at about 80k. And for the wider economy, we looked at about 90k getting them through. Sorry, I'm just saying goodbye to my son. Can everyone still hear me? Hello, can you still hear me, Darren?
Hi, Kaye. We can still hear. We can still hear you.
Oh, brilliant! No problem.
I'm just
Sorry.
taking myself off because it's just easier that people can focus on what you're talking about.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just double checking there that I hadn't gone.
No, that's fine.
Fab. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so just picking up on the other funds that we've got. We've got the Tees Valley Growth Fund, which is support for businesses in relation to ERDF grants that are available, and those are between sort of 1,000 to 49,999 to support businesses to help them to grow. And the whole aim of that fund is to create jobs and improve productivity and stimulate growth. So it's things like purchasing equipment, looking at HR marketing strategy, sort of looking at different machinery that can really help grow businesses. Just looking at over the last 2 years, pulling some figures together, we've give access of sort of grants up to 500k, with a total project value of 1.45 million for the Redcar area. And I think the important thing to say about this fund is it was 33% intervention rate, but now it's gone up to 55% on the impact of COVID. So that's that extra support for businesses to help them to grow. We've then got the Tees Valley Catalyst Fund, which supports short-term loans. Obviously, at this point in time with COVID recovery is really important, that we're looking at those solutions and that support. We've got the Collaborative Networks programme as well, which is the 3-year programme. We've just run a round of this programme, but there's another round due to come out either just before Christmas or just after. And that's all around supporting micro businesses and SMEs, looking at them to work collaboratively to develop new products, processes or services, and all in light of obviously COVID-19 risks and new drivers and potentially new markets as well. Coming soon is a national programme that is being supported by BAYS. Tees Valley Combined Authority are being awarded 360k for a peer network programme, which again is linked to COVID recovery. We're in the process at the moment. We've went out to procurement for this. And we're looking for a delivery partner to deliver the programme management side of it, which is the logistics, the back office, the admin and the coordination, and then also the facilitation of the programme. So essentially the peer-to-peer network is pulling together SMEs in groups of 8 to 10 and taking them on that peer-to-peer network journey. So it's very much action learning, and looking at sort of how to approach sort of new products and services, entering new markets, also EU transition in there. So really taking the SME on that journey. There is some eligibility criteria related to that, and that's round about businesses must have 5 employees, a turnover of 100k and based in the Tees Valley. It's a little bit disappointing. We're feeding back to BAYS at the moment that eligibility criteria, because we feel obviously in Tees Valley we've got a lot of micro businesses that have less than 5. So we're just trying to sort of see if there's any negotiation on that eligibility criteria so that we can support some more sort of SMEs within our area. So that's sort of a whistle-stop tour of the Tees Valley business. My colleague Sally Gardner is not available today, so I'm also going to give an update on the employment and skills as well. But Darren, probably, I don't know if there's any questions before I go on to that.
Yeah, I'll ask for anybody got any questions on funding, please, just to put them in the Facebook comments below if you're watching, or if you're on YouTube, again, we'll try and pick them up in there. So if you let us know if you've got any questions. I'm glad you picked up the issue about funding for micro businesses, because it definitely is an issue. When we hear quite often from micro businesses where they don't fall into one category, they don't fall into another. So
yeah,
it's really
very much in the gap. Yeah. And there's another program as well, Darren, that's recently been launched at the same time as the peer-to-peer, which is the small leadership program. which is slightly different because that is a structured program. And again, when we looked at that, the eligibility is quite similar. So again, you know, those micro businesses have been left more essentially to capture, you know, that those with less than 5 employees and less than 100k in turnover.
And the things what we always say to everybody anyway is that definitely keep looking on the website and definitely follow you guys on social media, because there's loads of announcements, and sometimes, you know, the government are making so many last minute announcements, then the time then that kind of filters through into newsletters and whatever, you might kind of miss out. So definitely do kind of follow the Tees Valley business on Twitter, Facebook, sign up to the newsletters, do get in contact with them, kind of details are there. And in front of you, just go to the website, you'll find all the social media links there. It really is the best way. This is how I learn. I don't always kind of get the newsletters quickly enough in time. But one comment coming through actually, Kaye, Project Escape Live, they've had some funding through Tees Valley Compass in 2018 for growth. So has the funding reset now so they can claim again?
Yes, it has. So if they previously had funding, they're eligible to put another project in for funding as well. So yeah, good news.
That's brilliant. And he's now gone up to 55%, did you say?
Yeah, 55% intervention rate for the project value. So for the grant value, that would be 55% that they would get towards that.
That's brilliant. I didn't know that myself, actually. So I've definitely learned that this morning. So that's really great.
Yeah, that come through as a project change request around about sort of June time in response to COVID. It's probably worth mentioning as well, Darren, that as you say, it's hot off the press. We've just launched a new culture and innovation fund that the mayor launched, I believe, on Wednesday. So that's 300k, and again, you know, all this information is on our website, so feel free to visit it. But this fund is all around supporting the culture and arts businesses really, because again, those are protected that slipped through the gap during the COVID recovery. So we're looking for businesses that have innovated and potentially changed their business model so that we can really support them with a 100% grant. Now those grants are based on turnover. If it's less than 100, the figure is 10k, and if it's more than 100, it's 25k, and it's subject to eligibility. But I just thought I'd mention that just in case you know, it's of interest to anyone. And obviously there's more details on our website.
That's brilliant. And I know that I think we shared that earlier on this week, actually. I'm looking at Matt there because I think he kind of shared the news. I think it might have been yesterday. I mean, there are a couple of people in the business network which kind of would fall into that category, I think. So we'll make sure we'll tag them in. But please, anybody who's got a business, is in culture or arts, if you know somebody, then they're desperately going to be needing this type of funding. So please just let them know, because we really do want this money to get to the people who need it, but you do have to apply for it. So that's the whole point of why we do these presentations and these webinars and stuff, just to let you know. So please, if you've never applied for funding before and you think I'm never going to get it, just ask. The easiest thing, and ask, and keep asking, because you know the funding requirements do change. We've heard this morning quite a few times how things kind of like change, and it's always worth just keep in touch with the team there. You know, every few months, if it doesn't work out the first time around, keep going back, because things do change, and they are very good there. And I think most of the time they will try to come back to you, but obviously they've got, you know, hundreds or thousands of people they need to manage as well. So don't feel embarrassed or don't feel like you shouldn't be applying. Just do it, because you know the money is there to help all business owners as much as possible. So please just ask, and please do get involved. Thanks for that. And then you're going to go into a second one now to
yeah, let me just see if I can get this second one. Okay, can you see that, Darren?
Yeah, that's great. It's in the top form, but then that's fine. That's lovely. Great.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to start with Kickstart. So that's a really exciting opportunity that the DWP have launched, a 2 billion Kickstart scheme, looking at putting young people at the heart of our Tees Valley Mayor has pledged that Tees Valley Combined Autumn businesses as a gateway who wish to offer less than 30 placements, job placements. So we being sort of the gateway, the intermediary as such, and applying on behalf of that job placement. So where we're at the moment in relation to that is we've had 132 applications, totaling of 411 placement opportunities, which is fantastic. We've got a target of 500 back in the Tees Valley Combined Authority, and just looking at the criteria, it's businesses to offer a minimum of a 6-month placement, and that's got to be for 25 hours a week, paying national minimum wage. Most importantly, the new roles must be a new role and not displace or make existing employees redundant. So that is an important factor to bear in mind. Young people can be aged between 16 to 24, claiming universal credit, and they need to be referred to the scheme via Job Centre Work Coach. Only businesses trading in Tees Valley and for residents in Tees Valley, and we've got the full details of that Kickstart scheme. There's the government details, but actually at the top there we've got our website link as well. It is, you know, for businesses, it's need that advice and guidance. What we've done, application guidance for businesses and Q&A as well, just to try and break down that DWP, sort of give people a bit of focus. So I think it's really important that we sort of the Tees Valley backs this scheme, as we all know sort of what's coming in relation to young people and unemployment. I think it's a real great opportunity to give those young people some valuable work experience that will hopefully progress them on to either employment, apprenticeships, or further training as such, and help them move into work, into sustainable work. And then the next one is probably echoing a little bit sort of what Andrew had said about the apprenticeship grants, which is fine. So we've got 2 grants available. The first grant is the priority sectors grant that is available for SMEs. Now, Tees Valley Combined Authority will determine if your company falls within that priority sector. So if you're not sure, you know, do or don't, this sector falls in, you know, just drop us a line and we can give some advice on that. However, non-priority sectors, apprentices aged 19 plus, will receive a grant of £500 with less than 49 employees with that. And obviously that's within industries such as hospitality, retail, and leisure. Just moving on to the national apprenticeship. All employers are eligible. It's accessed via the digital account, but this is ending quite soon, 31st of January in 2021. So we need to be out. So the government financial incentive is 2016 to 24, and age 25 is 1,500. I think it's probably also worthwhile mentioning the Mayor's 1 million emergency apprenticeship grant that we issued during COVID time. So that was targeted at age 16 to 20, and we were looking for 100 apprentices, which we've met that target now, and that was a wage subsidy. So businesses could claim up to 50% of the apprentice's wage for the first 6 months, and 100% for the first 6 months, and then 50% for the rest of the duration of the apprenticeship. And that's great to see. You'll probably see there's some success stories on social media in relation to the variety of different apprentices, whether it's in engineering, administration. So there's a real variety of different sectors that people have gone on to move into. And that's Sally's update. So, but I'm happy to take any questions if I can answer them. If I can't, we can. I can just refer them back to Sally.
That's great. Thank you so much. I don't know how you remember all of that. That's so much information to remember. Do you go to bed like thinking it's like, right, I need to think of this one, and this, and this?
All these figures just popping in your head.
So there is some fantastic information there. I'll just take that slide off there. There we go. And yeah, you kind of, like you say, it kind of backs up from what Andrew was saying, because he was talking about the kind of the Kickstart and the apprenticeship schemes as well. So again, please go to Tees Valley Business or go through the college if you've got both of them. It's still the same scheme, but just different entry points. But you're both getting exactly the same benefits. So if you just can't get hold of somebody at the business team at Tees Valley, then the college will be definitely free to speak to you, or vice versa. If the college are busy, then go straight to Tees Valley Business, and one way or the other, they'll be able to help you. We've had one comment come through just in the Facebook chat. Nicola from Seabreed, she's saying she thinks the Kickstart is a brilliant idea to give people a chance. They've applied for 2 candidates looking for a start in November. So if businesses can give young people a start, it works both ways. And that's that's a great thing, Nicola. And even for ourselves, for my business from Duco, then we've given young people opportunities this year with apprenticeships, and we work with the university. There was a fund there, kind of with European funding as well for graduates. So there are opportunities there to help people, young people, but also to help businesses. And there are so many different schemes that Kaye's just gone through. So even if the first one, I think about that won't work for me, then do just go and ask, because there'll probably be another 5 or 6 or 7 schemes around, and then there'll be something that probably might suit your business and the young person a bit more, which is a great thing. One thing I was just going to ask about the Kickstart scheme is that I know we've had some comments before, is that people are kind of a bit worried about this whole 30 sort of mark. Would you be able to explain kind of how that works in terms of, obviously a small business will be able to take 30 people, but I've seen that the applications go through a process where they work with other businesses. You get 30 people together, and then you're able to get the apprenticeship. Is that kind of roughly how it works?
Yeah, and so obviously when the guidance come out from the government around the Kickstart, and it was a minimum of 30 placements, it was, looking at our Tees Valley area, there is businesses that can obviously offer 30 placements, but the majority of businesses, are looking for 1 and 2 people. So the Tees Valley Combined Authority are almost that intermediary to support that business. So what we've got happening at the moment is the business will come to us and express an interest and fill in an application form for 1 or 2 placements, whatever they can support. We actually do sort of some work in the background and then submit that application to DWP on behalf of them in bulk. So in bulks of sort of 28, 29, and that's what we've been doing sort of over the past weeks while this is going. And it is hopefully that people starting in November. There's lots of additional guidance that needs to come out from DWP in relation to sort of who's responsible for carrying out the risk assessments to make sure these young people are safe in their placements. But we're hoping further guidance around that will come very soon.
That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much. I really appreciate that. If there's any final questions for Kaye, please just let them know. Please put them in the comments below, and we'll pick those up. So we're going to kind of wrap up now. I did say at the very beginning of the presentation that if you got anything that you'd like to shout about your business, if you've got a special offer or any kind of special events. I know we're struggling with events at the moment, but you might be doing something online. You might be just doing something just different in your business. Then again, just let us know, and we'll start to read those out. So we've just got a couple of minutes left. Just want to say congratulations to Senses Wellbeing, to Karen Winspear. We really kind of, she's been working on this project to get that business off the ground. So well done to her, and hopefully you might have seen that on Facebook and social media. So yeah, well done, Karen. And if you haven't, go and check it out, because it is a fantastic project there. So I don't want to shout too much about it. There's one comment just coming back to you, Kaye. So just generally speaking, this person's registered in Newcastle, but have recently changed to operate out of Redcar long term. So would there be much support available for them? I take it would be the same if they're operating out of Redcar. Would that be right?
Yeah. So if you come through to our Tees Valley business website and express an interest, it's the first sort of, when you come to our teesvalleybusiness.com, there's a register your interest. If you just go on there and populate your details, that'll be great, and then we can get a growth consultant to give you a call and talk that through, and look at what support's available for your business.
That's fabulous. Hopefully that's answered your question there, Cole. Thanks for that. I think we're kind of at the stage we're going to wrap this up. But if we do get any other questions outside the webinar, then we'll collect them and then we'll pass them on to you guys, and then we can get the answers and that for you. So please do keep asking the questions, because we're here to help. I just want to say a really big thank you to Andrew and Kaye, who probably got up a little bit earlier than what they normally would do on a weekday morning. And apologies for all the technical problems this morning. I thought I kind of had this all planned out and getting ahead of things, but it kind of just didn't quite work as well as what we wanted to do. But I think we got there in the end, and we covered a lot of ground. And the overriding message is that it is tough out there at the moment. It's really hard when you're running a business and you're having to make some really tough decisions, but you're not on your own. And we really encourage you to start talking to your peers. Don't just bottle it in yourself. It's really important that you do talk about it. Sometimes there isn't definitive answers, but just speaking to somebody else that might just help you to perceive things in a slightly different way. And these guys are experts in their field, and you do have to be experts in education like Andrew. You do have to be experts remembering all those different funds like Kaye. And like, even for myself, where I kind of look at it from maybe kind of occasionally day to day, I don't know about all these different things. So I'm kind of learning as well at the same time. Please don't forget, you've got the business growth team at the council as well. We are really fortunate to have them, because not every council has a business focused team. So please make use of them. I know most of us, I think, do. But I think some of us in business that later on we think, oh yeah, it's fine. We've spoken to them before, but go back to speak to them again, because they'll help you with maybe some new ideas, again with the funding, just directing people, directing you to speak to different people. One other kind of comment I think just coming through here. So this is a promotional one. So Project Escape Live escape rooms. So they've modified their whole location to one giant Halloween walkthrough rather than the escape rooms. Called the Haunting of Dundas Manor. So Halloween is not cancelled for them. So if you need, I think we're all kind of frightened enough this year, but if you need a bit more frightening of a different kind, I think that sounds a fantastic invitation there. So go to project-escape.co.uk, and the guys are really doing some great things over there. So well done to Nick and the team. Thank you ever so much, everybody. And just want to say we will be coming back in November. Off the top of my head, I think it is Wednesday, November the 11th. So we're kind of moving around a little bit. It's just based on people's availability. But we've got a couple of Christmas things to talk about next month. We've got Richard from Redcar Cleveland Ambassadors coming in to talk. We've got Vicky from Betty Lee Boutique, who's going to be talking to us about how she's managed her business through the coronavirus pandemic. And also she's going to be talking to us to give us some hints about how to dress up your Christmas windows, if that kind of applies for you and sounds like something a little bit different. Then please come along. We'll share all the details on the newsletter and across on social media as well. And if you don't get the newsletter, just sign up for that at redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a good day, and look after yourselves and speak soon.